And at 10, Ultimate Custom Night. Ultimate Custom Night helps provide a lot of scares for us, but also, thanks to various lines we get after we die, which happens a lot, we can learn multiple things from this game. Like how Chica still loves to bang around the kitchen, and I mean like me as a child and my grandparents using pots and pans as drums, since original Chica does this to announce her presence. It's just her gameplay mechanic. I did it because I thought it was cool. I was cool to my grandma. But we can also learn things from her death lines, like no matter how badly Scott regrets FNAF World, he will still reference it with lines like,
"You won't get tired of my voice, will you?
And you won't get tired of dying, will you?
You won't get tired of dying, will you?"
Another one being, "Where's my beak?" lodged in your forehead, of course.
"Where's my beak?" Lodged in your forehead, of course.
Suggesting that she is the one who caused the bite of 87, hence why the beak is removed. This also explains why Scott asked, why would Toy Chica be missing her beak during MatPat's FNAF livestream where they discussed dream theory. I feel like he added this line so that we'd be like, oh, that's why. And at 9, inspiration. The inspiration for Chica could be one of many things. One of Chucky's friends from the Chuck E. Cheese lineup called Helen Henny, which would make a lot of sense given the alliteration in Chica's name and the fact that they're chickens. Or it could have been thanks to Birdie the early bird from the original McDonald Land characters. Although if it was, her name would probably have been Chicken the Chicken, because what Birdie the early bird is such a creative name. No wonder I've never heard about McDonald Land. Chica could also have gotten her name from the character of Chica from The Chica Show, an American kids show from 2012 that starred a chicken puppet named Chica. Based on the Chuck E. Cheese theme to the entire series, give or take a few murders, I'm gonna go with the inspiration being Helen Henny, but I could be wrong on that. And at 8, internet rule. There is a whole lot of weird out there on the internet. I'm part of it, because I'm weird as hell, but I'm not even close to a good portion of it. With entire subreddits dedicated to the most famous internet rule of all, make sure you turn airplay off, there is bound to be some questionable fan art about your favorite FNAF characters. And while Foxy may be sticking their hook where it doesn't belong, or Ballora may be getting stuck in the washing machine, ever since the first game there has been a relentless amount of poultry-themed visual poetry every time someone tries to edit a FNAF list and look for images. Sorry about this one, editor. However, you may want to back down from the casual furry Rule 34 drawings, since thanks to Chica's yellow coloring, she is most likely a chick. And I don't mean like a chick like an old slang term for a female, I mean like a baby chicken. Yeah, a fully grown hen or chicken is usually white or brown, however, there is basically no fully grown chickens that are yellow, so yeah, there you go. I just saved your soul. And it's 7, Curse of Dreadbear. The Curse of Dreadbear loading screen is pretty sick. You're standing at this giant projector screen like a drive-in theater, then all of a sudden a bolt of lightning flashes behind it, revealing a giant Dreadbear standing over you. It's terrifying the first time you see it, and then there are other little Easter eggs hidden around you, like Withered Bonnie and Withered Chica. But it's not really Withered Chica, it's actually the normal Chica model with the Withered Chica pose, making things look hella weird in this picture. The eyes are poking out the bottom of the mouth and the arms are bent backwards. I don't know why, but I'm getting like a real Valley Girl vibe from this pose. Like I saw this on Instagram way too much in high school kind of thing. Does anyone else see that, or is it just me? And at 6, Withered Glitch. Withered Chica is one of the most iconic Withered animatronics, probably because she's the most run down. Sure, Bonnie may be missing a face, but Chica has hanging wires and gashes all over. Withered Chica makes an appearance in FNAF 2 where she can enter your office and just stand there. You need to put your Freddy head on to get rid of her, like any other animatronic that enters the office, and then your game will black out and she will be gone. There is a rare glitch, however, where Withered Chica is still in the office after the blackout after putting on the Freddy Fazbear head. If the player takes the head off, Withered Chica will either disappear, remain there until the monitor or Freddy head is raised and lowered, and which will result in a jump scare, or immediately kill the night guard as soon as the head is taken off. This glitch happens regardless of if the head was put on in time or not, and that's pretty freaking brutal. Like, is there a universe where Withered Chica doesn't give any shit about what you try to pull? She'll just kill you for the hell of it. And like, kind of iconic. Halfway through at number 5, Long Scare. I've talked about this in the top 10 scary FNAF glitches, but Chica's FNAF 1 jump scare can actually be prolonged if you manage to flip the camera up in time before she's done screaming in your face. By doing this, the jump scare resets and actually helps you stay alive longer. Doing this enough times can actually win you the night if you keep it up longer than my grandpa can. Thanks, Grandma, didn't need to hear that one. If you repeat this over and over, time does actually pass, and as long as you don't get the dreaded static, you're still alive, which could honestly have some lore implications if we tried hard enough, but I don't think that's really what's important. The fact that Chica allows this to happen in a way just shows that she just wants to torment you, since we all know now that we play as Michael, who looks a lot like his father. So much so that even Baby, an animatronic possessed by his sister, thought that you were her dad at first, which is kinda weird. No, it's really weird. And at 4, Survival Logbook. The Survival Logbook, if you didn't know somehow, is a FNAF book that is full of different lore clues and is basically disguised as an activity book for a security guard known as Mike, who we all guess is Michael Afton. In this book, there are a few depictions of Chica. Page 23 has her chilling with Bonnie. On page 38, she's raging at a Cherry computer, a stand-in for Apple because I guess they wouldn't pay for the placement. Page 48 has her as a drawing in the background, and page 53 has her looking kinda sus with the cupcake behind her back. Yellow looking sus to me. Page 64 is the scariest of them all, having a picture of Chica dabbing. Oh dear God, why? On page 86, she's pitted against Freddy in a who would win battle, and on page 96, she's seemingly baking another cupcake, or maybe some cookies. She's cooking something. And then on what would be page 112, the final page in the book, we see a picture of a different form of withered Chica. This is one of the biggest mysteries to me, like why is a new withered Chica on the final page of the book? I used the black light on every single page and there was nothing. I plan on scanning it and putting it into Photoshop to see if I can find anything, but it's so weird to me. Like, we see Chica 7 other times in this book, but she's important enough to be the last thing we see. And at 3, groaning. In FNAF 1, whenever Bonnie and Chica get close to the office, we can hear some weird sort of groaning or moaning coming from the animatronics. Some have theorized that this is just their music box malfunctioning, since we know they have one thanks to FNAF ER's parts and service minigame, and I'm sure it was mentioned beforehand. However, even damaged, I'm sure there is no way they would make such a gutturally realistic sound. This is probably caused by, you guessed it, the children stuffed inside the animatronics. Susie's groaning can be heard in the very first game. Oh. Now look, I love me a good stuffed bird for Thanksgiving dinner, but this is a little too much, alright? I'll stick with my turkey key, and you can have the chicken stuffed with literal human kid. Why do they have to groan? Come on, Scott, why'd you do this to me? Why? Penultimately, in at number 2, glitches. There seems to be quite a few errors with Chica over the various games. Glitches are an inevitability when it comes to games. We all know this thanks to Skyrim and Cyberpunk 2077, but some of these Chica glitches are just weird. In some area of the first game, for example, Chica can have a back bib. It will literally just end up behind her. Maybe because who needs a bib when you have pizza? And the prolonged jump scare glitch I mentioned earlier. Chica can also be seen missing an eye when she and Freddy are on the stage alone together. Oh, something's cooking. And sometimes she's missing both eyes in the cutscenes from FNAF 2. In FNAF 2's parts and service room, her endoskeleton neck is incorrectly placed, and there is a big hole inside of her body, even though you can't see it from the outside. Finally, in at number 1, first. It's like the comments section. I mentioned earlier that Chica has plenty of voice lines in FNAF Ultimate Custom Night, one of which, and probably the most important one, being, I was the first. I've seen everything, coming from Withered Chica.
I was the first. I have seen everything.
Suggesting that Susie, the girl we think was stuffed into Chica, was in fact the first victim and not Charlotte like we all originally thought. Although she could have just been the first of the missing children, since we see the puppet give them life in the FNAF 2 minigame. Plus, in the demo troll version of Ultimate Custom Night, there is a scene where Freddy says to Chica, "Hey Chica, you have lore significance now," which is just kinda rude, but true. This also would explain why Chica was the first, or one of the first, to get a Jacko version, since Jacko Chica says, "I am a burning reminder of your misdeeds." Since she would have been the first, it would make sense that she's the one that he would regret the most. And by that logic, I think that Bonnie might have been the second, followed by Foxy, since they're the ones who also got Jacko or burning versions.
And at number 10, her origin. Chica's origin is much more explored in the second game, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. She appears as her earliest form, her first generation of an animatronic, which is known as Withered Chica. This Chica has fallen into severe disrepair, and replaced by a new iteration of Chica called Toy Chica. Now, Withered Chica would eventually be rebuilt after the events of the second game, which is the version of her that we're introduced to in the first Five Nights game. The more you know. And at number 9, all in the details. Let's take a look at a few aspects of Chica's character that made her so darn scary and so darn iconic. In the very first Five Nights at Freddy's, as the night progresses, she becomes more erratic, twitching violently, eyes blinking rapidly, and her soundbite will play regardless of whether or not you're focused on her or not. She gets quite sneaky too. If you fail to check your right blind spot and close the door when she's at the window, she can sneak into the office without being seen. And when she does, the buttons for the door and light won't function, function anymore. You can tell she's entered the office by listening for the sound of groans, which both her and Bonnie do. They'll jump at you as soon as you lower your monitor. And at number 8, Chica loves food. Like, no shit, right? I mean, it literally says, "Let's eat" on her bib, which is surrounded by little triangles that one could only assume are inspired by the fact that she was built for a franchise of pizza parlors. Anyway, based on the Freddy Fazbear theme song, Chica is a gluttonous but lovable chicken who has an adoration of food, especially pizza. Shocker there, friends. She's also a little pushy. Gotta get that za. And at number 7, that groan. You know the groans that we mentioned earlier, the sounds that Chica and Bonnie make when they've snuck into the office? Well, there's a theory about why those groans sound the way they do, or rather why the animatronics make them. It's speculated that the groan is actually phone guys, or that it belongs to one of the 5 kids from the missing children incident theory. On the flip side of this, which is probably the more rational theory, the groan could simply come from her voice box. Voice boxes are found in most singing animatronics, and it could be that this voice box is malfunctioning since the animatronics are over 20 years old and poorly maintained. Moving on to number 6, them teeth. Chica's got some chompers. She's got a second set of teeth in the back of her mouth, with most people assuming that those teeth are part of her endoskeleton. There is a theory though that those teeth actually belong to a human, with one popular theory debating that the teeth belong to phone guy. A lot of phone guy theories. That being said, every single one of the animatronics in the first game have endoskeleton teeth inside of their costumes, so. And at number 5, absence. Chica is in every Five Nights at Freddy's game with the exception of the 5th game, 2016's Sister Location. Now, despite the 5th title, Sister Location is chronologically the first installment in the series and actually is rather distinct compared to the other Freddy's titles. You can move between rooms and must carry out objectives, and a new cast of animatronics were added. Now, the reception for the title was a little mixed, although the game was praised for switching up the series status quo in terms of gameplay, keeping the player on edge. There is a slight nod to Chica in the game though. There's a mode in Custom Night called Cupcake Challenge, which is a nod to Chica's cupcake. Moving on to number 4, missing? Despite the absence in the last game, Chica may initially have been planned to be in it. In Ennard's first teaser found within the source code, Chica's name is mentioned as a client called Chica's Party World, no vowels, which was an abbreviation for Chica's Party World. But there is no reference to this party world in the game itself. Curious, what do you guys think it could have been? Moving on to number 3, Phantom Chica. Even though Chica appears in all of the rest of the games, it is worth noting that it is different forms of her that appear and pop up in those sequel titles. Now, for example, in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, she doesn't affect gameplay at all beyond being a spooky piece of the game's set. Now, she is an attraction prop at Fazbear's Fright, and in Cam 08 you can see her disembodied head. Instead, in the game, it's Phantom Chica who is basically Chica but doesn't have eyes and scares you and looks charred and her mouth is constantly open. She doesn't have much of a movement pattern either. There's also a little nod from her partner in crime in the 3rd game who actually appears as a minor hallucination, which brings us to our next number, talking about that partner in crime. Number 2, Chica's cupcake. Let's talk about this little buck-toothed pink frosted buddy of hers, the cupcake. There is a cupcake that Chica holds on a tray when she is on stage. Like the other animatronics, it has black eyelids. Now, this cupcake disappears when Chica is off the stage, and there's never been any explanation for why. Creepily enough though, the same cupcake also can be spotted inside of the office in the first game on top of the monitors, which is, you know, probably just merch, but whatever. Other than that, it has no effect on the player aside from spooking them out. And last but not least, in at number 1, Help Wanted. There's some fun details about Chica in the Five Nights at Freddy's VR game Help Wanted. The parts and service section is perhaps one of the more interesting parts of the game, no pun intended there. Your objective is to repair one of the original animatronics, in which you're guided through various instructions to do so. Now, in order to repair Chica, you need to remove pizza slices from her body, open up her beak which reveals a cockroach infestation, and continue to spray her with Chemispray in order to clean her up. Now, if you mess with the instructions, she'll jump scare you and presumably kill you. And also, according to the parts and service portion of the game, there have been customer complaints about Chica's acrid smell, meaning she's been rummaging through the kitchen again and probably some garbage for some munchies. Tough life.